phone call or a text message by someone who would like to make plans. Then you answer with your standard protocol of yes, maybe, or no. How come we never answer with, I don't know, it depends if I'm alive tomorrow? The reason we don't is because there's no doubt in our minds that we will. Fellow peers, judges, teachers, and parents, my goal is to convince you that we think we're invincible. We think we're invincible because it's human nature to believe so. We have this that could never happen to me mentality, and the beliefs and influences in our everyday lives lead us to this conclusion. The definition of invincible is incapable of being subdued, conquered, and defeated. In human nature, these characteristics are found within us. Incapable of being subdued. It's a human thing to not like to be under control to a certain extent. Children tend to rebel out of their fear of being subdued. Incapable of being conquered. Have you ever heard of the saying, divide and conquer? Divide and conquer was a military rule that attributed either to Julius Caesar in the year 100 BC to 44 BC, or to the king of Macedon in the year 382 BC to 336 BC. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is she giving me a history lesson? I'm just trying to prove that the need to conquer has been around for a long time. If we didn't feel this need, wouldn't we hear of divide and be conquered? Incapable of being defeated. If we look at it through the brain aspect, humans come out on top. There's a reason we're on top of the food chain, and that's because our minds work in spectacular ways. It's also another reason we think we're invincible. The comment that can never happen to me is the sentence that's been passed around like the plague. We usually watch videos of atrocious things and we say, I hope that will never happen to me, out of modesty. We don't mean it because some things are just unfathomable. We contradict ourselves because we don't believe many things could happen to us until they do. If you really did believe that, we wouldn't cause as much pollution out of fear of what might happen. If I were to tell you you were going to break your arm, you would never believe me because, hey, that could never happen to you. The beliefs and influences in our everyday lives lead us to my conclusion of how we think we're invincible. Do you remember watching a fairy tale or maybe reading one and they usually end in happily ever after? That implies that they live on forever. Being a child, and at the time very impressionable, this idea of my story not ending will stick with me, and you too. Many times we're told not to give up. If we all did give up, most of us wouldn't get up in the morning out of fear of what's out there. With that thought in our minds, we do things like extreme sports where we could easily be hurt. So we were raised to follow our dreams and not to think about the bad consequences. Let me ask you this. If we didn't believe we were invincible, why do we see a future for ourselves? Finally, thinking we're invincible is a consequence of human nature that can never happen to me and the beliefs and influences in our everyday lives. In some cases, thinking we're invincible is a horrible thing because it may lead to arrogance. On the other hand, it's a great thing because without it, we wouldn't reach for things that seem unreachable. That is why I am convinced we think we're invincible, but we obviously don't need a cure. Thank you very much.